What's up, y'all? My name is Eric Pacheco. My friends call me E, and I am a journeyman wireman and member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or IBEW for short. What is the IBEW? The IBEW is a labor union for electricians. And what I want to talk to you today about is labor unions and your role when you're in a labor union, your role within that labor union. All right. Now, a lot of folks, if you came up like I did, you didn't have a lot of information about unions when you went through school. In Miami, when I grew up, we had a couple options. It was college, it was the military, and it was go straight and find a job. But there was no information about trade schools and unions that I was made aware of. So I never learned this stuff. But a labor union, in essence, is the first line of defense for workers, their quality of life, and economic freedom. Sounds all-encompassing, I know. It's going to pan out as we go through this video. But labor unions are the first line of defense for workers, their quality of life, and economic freedom. How? Well, labor unions negotiate every aspect of a job. Let me explain. There are two types of workers. There is the union worker and there is the non-union worker. Now, the union worker operates under a collective bargaining agreement, or a CBA. That's a contract that is legally binding, and it's a contract between the workers and the contractors. So we have an agreement of what this job entails. Now, in that contract, you have defined benefits, wages, overtime pay, hours of work, this type of thing. You have defined working conditions. What tools do I have to bring to the job? Well, there's a list that you go by. When are my breaks? There's breaks defined in the contract. Also, there's protection in the contract against abuse from an abusive boss or an abusive situation. Now, with a non-union worker, you have no contract. You're basically a free agent doing what you can in the world. There are undefined benefits. Think about what's your working conditions when you're non-union. When you're non-union, you're at the whims of the boss. So if the boss is having a bad day, your working conditions may go down. If the boss is having a great day, they may be better. But you're at the whims of whatever the boss feels like. And then lastly, you have no protections from wrongful firing or being put in a perilous situation. So there's your basic difference, right? Your two types of workers, right? Union and non-union. Now, I've told you about labor unions, and if the labor unions are representing workers, well then, who are they representing workers against, right? Because there's got to be an opposition side of that. Well, the opposition side is the owner class. And if you've never heard that phrase before, the owner class, these are the billionaire class, right? This is the Jeff Bezos from Amazon. This is the Walton family of Walmart. These are the folks that own everything in politics. They call them the 1%. This is big oil, the tycoons of industry, the big banks. You know what I mean? It's the owner class. They kind of own it all. Well, labor has a very long history. It's a tumultuous history with the owner class, and we've been fighting for a very long time. And if you're in a union, understand your role in this and understand the blood that was shed to get us to where we are today. Labor unions have been under attack since the day the workers won the bloody battle with the owner class and all of their henchmen over the right to form them. So I'm going to read that one more time because it's kind of confusing, but bear with me. Labor unions have been under attack since the day the workers won the bloody battle with the owner class and all of their henchmen over the right to form them. Ever since legislation was passed to form unions, the owner class has been lobbying, has been enacting right to work laws, has it been attacking the public relations, the public perception of unions. They've labeled them lazy. And it's basically been an entire marketing campaign to drop unions and to hurt them and to get labor as cheaply as they can. And it's been a brilliant propaganda campaign, because labor union membership back in the 50s was around 30% nationwide. Today, it's down around 10%, 7%, somewhere in that range is where union membership hovers. So that public perception campaign dropped membership 20 percentage points, 2/3, from 30% of the entire country down to 10% of the entire country. So it's really been working. We have to understand our role within the labor union in order to counter those attacks, because our unions are the first line of defense, quite honestly and quite literally. So it's very important that we understand the struggle that we are a part of. The fight we are in requires solidarity among all workers. We have to care about workers, because the fight isn't left or right. The fight is up and down. That's the fight. What do I care about someone standing next to me when there's someone ready to step on me with a boot? I'm worried about what's coming from up top. So the fight is always up and down, not left and right. Don't get fooled by the distractions. Lastly, the growth of local unions impacts the lives of all workers, union and non-union alike, because a rising tide lifts all the ships. There aren't any that are left behind. And all of this is to tell you that labor unions are the first line of defense for workers, their quality of life, and their economic freedom. And the IBEW is a labor union that is inclusive, and it's worthy of defense against attacks from the owner class. Because if labor unions go away, I promise you, working conditions will not become better out of the kindness of the hearts of the owner class. It never has. It's always been one with struggle, and we've been struggling for hundreds of years. So keep the fight up. My name is Eric Pacheco, journeyman wireman, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers member. Remember, solidarity wins always, man. Peace.